Yasmeen Ghauri was graceful and disciplined, but above all, in charge of her destiny. Shockingly, at the height of her career, she disappeared, never to be seen in the spotlight again. Meet the supermodel who walked away from it all, Yasmeen Ghauri. Yasmeen Ghauri was scouted in 1989 by none other than Edward Zachariah, the artistic director of Platine Coiffure. Believe it or not, this girl was working at her local McDonald's when she was scouted.
My father was really not very happy with me modeling. I am putting him in jeopardy of going to hell. It's very dramatic.
But her parents didn't like the idea of her becoming a model. You see, her father was an imam, or a Muslim priest. So it goes without saying that the modeling world doesn't exactly coincide with Muslim beliefs. Yasmeen went ahead and did it. But one thing she repeatedly said over and over is that she wouldn't let the glitz and glamour of the industry get to her. Yasmeen wasn't like most of the other models of the time. She wasn't blue-eyed, fair-skinned, or blonde-haired. You see, Yasmeen's father is Pakistani, and her mother is German, making her have a southeastern skin tone. To top that up, Yasmeen was born and raised in Montreal, Canada, where she went to a predominantly white school. And you know how that goes for the colored kid. She was bullied by other kids growing up. In an interview, she said she thought she was so ugly that she eventually stopped taking photographs at 12 years old. And her problems with her looks didn't end there. After she was scouted, she began looking for bookings around Montreal and got this. She only got 6 bookings in a year. In interviews, she has occasionally mentioned that her ethnic features are the reason she kept being turned down. As a matter of fact, in one interview, she called herself an ugly duckling. It's like when the world saw an intoxicatingly beautiful woman, Yasmeen still thought she was the little girl who was bullied for her looks. Bet it can't be easy going from being called ugly to being desirable in such a short period of time. When Yasmeen saw things were not working out in Montreal, she packed her bags and moved to Europe. Her distinctive looks caught the attention of the fashion industry immediately. In fact, an article in the New York Times 1991 issue referred to her as coffee-skinned Yasmeen Ghauri. But here's the thing, many makeup artists could not properly beat her face. And who could blame them? There weren't enough foundation shades in the 90s, and this was a struggle for colored people who, at most times, had to mix different shades to get the correct one. In fact, Tyra Banks said that Yasmeen taught her how to do her makeup. She debuted her modeling career walking the runways of Milan, New York, and Paris. And get this, Yasmeen Ghauri was the complete package. Her walk was polished, and her looks were on point. Gianni Versace said so himself. Not to forget her height is 5'10", which greatly complemented her long legs. Her figure was just magnificent. She was not skinny like other models of the time like Kate Moss, and she wasn't curvy and athletic like Naomi Campbell either. She was the perfect balance between the two, having the perfect hourglass shape perfected by that small waistline. Her waist-hip ratio allowed her to swing her hips in a hypnotizing manner. Her posture further accentuated her figure. And on top of all that, her face card was out of this world, with full lips for that sultry appeal. Now what most people know about Yasmeen Ghauri is her walk.
Yasmeen had the walk of life. When she would walk, it was almost like her hips would dislocate.
Tyra Banks herself called it the walk of life and later added, when she walked, it was like her hips were going to dislocate. Fashion legend Karl Lagerfeld also highly praised her walk, saying that many girls try to imitate her, but it's almost impossible because they don't have the long legs and physique. This same walk would make her very popular on the major runways from Versace, Dolce & Gabbana, YSL, Chanel, Lanvin, Helmut Lang, you name it. Yasmeen walked them all. We can't talk about Yasmeen's walk and forget to mention her chemistry with Naomi Campbell. These two were an iconic duo back in the day. They both walked the runway for Versace, Chanel, Dior, Valentino, and Isaac Mizrahi. Now, why did the people love this duo? One reason, their exotic beauty and hypnotic walks. Both had long legs, strong postures, and fluid walks. While Yasmeen's walk was feline-like, Naomi Campbell had an energetic bounce. These two paved the way for so many colored models in the future. Yasmeen's gorgeous face also makes her a cover girl for some big publications. This started as early as 1991 when she was a cover girl for LA in January 1991. She also graced Canada, Italy, and German LA. And she also appeared on several international publications for Vogue magazine. We are talking US, Italy, and France. Of course, we cannot forget her cover shoots for Harper's Bazaar and Cosmopolitan. Fashion photographer Patrick Demarchelier said that Yasmeen was his favorite muse. She also worked with legendary Steven Meisel for Italian Vogue. And just like any other supermodel in the 90s, Yasmeen was also in major campaigns. We are talking about high-end fashion houses such as Hermes, Versace, and Givenchy.
Muslims are not allowed to dance. You're not really supposed to show your skin. Like, you're supposed to be covered, you're supposed to be modest.
But before we get there, here's an interesting bit. Initially, Yasmeen was generally reserved and closed off to lingerie modeling, and this is due to her strong Muslim background. You see, at the beginning of her career, Yasmeen wasn't in it for the long term. She had figured she'd just model for 2 years, get some money, and move on to something else.
I never in my wildest dreams imagined that I would get this far as I've gotten. I just expected to happen, I would model for a year or two, make some money, and then go on.
But in a beautiful turn of events, her career took off in ways she could never have imagined. And so, as the years went by, she became more open to the idea of lingerie modeling. Her breakthrough in this area was in 1995, during the Versace swimwear campaign. This campaign opened a new side of Yasmeen that the world has never seen. The iconic photographer Richard Avedon helped capture this sultry, sensual side of her. The Versace campaign was only the beginning. Next came Victoria's Secret in 1996. She strutted the runway in silky, delicate lingerie pieces, and with her exotic features, Yasmeen was perfect for that Victoria's Secret high fashion appeal. But even with all this success, Yasmeen decided to retire from modeling to concentrate on family life. Her last show was Yves Saint Laurent in 1997. And afterward, she left the industry without any drama or controversy. She did not even try to make a comeback. Her decision to retire at this point in her career was met with curiosity, admiration, and shock. You see, behind the glitz and glamour, Yasmeen just craved a normal life. In an interview, she says she prefers staying at home in jeans, hanging out with her stuffed animal. She also added that modeling life can take a toll on you physically. She was especially very open about not letting her glamorous lifestyle change who she was. Even at the height of her career, Yasmeen still held close to her father's teachings about how to be a good person. As a result, you wouldn't find her in scandalous parties or relationships. In fact, even her own colleagues would say that she would rarely attend their events. This sort of lifestyle was not common for models of this era who were considered the it girls. Through it all, she stayed true to herself.
The thing I can always think of to say is just to be yourself and not to forget who you are, not get caught up in the people around you and the circumstances. It's really important.
Yasmeen Ghauri got married to Ralph Bernstein, and together they have 2 kids. Yasmeen has managed to maintain a low profile ever since her retirement in 1997. Unlike other supermodels of that era, she did not get into Hollywood. She just didn't want the spotlight anymore. Her fans needed closure, and true to that, when she eventually got on social media, she gained a massive following. She surprised fans when she opened an Instagram account in 2022. But even after opening the account, it only has one recent photo of her posted back in 2022. Most of the photos are of her in her old modeling days. When you think of Yasmeen Ghauri, elegance, confidence, and discipline come to mind. She's the supermodel who poured her all into the act and disappeared just as easily as she came. Vampire. Apart from her modeling and acting pursuits, Davin also appeared in music videos. She was indeed a jack of all trades. In 1997, she was featured in Primal Scream's song Kowalski with Kate Moss. Perhaps this role prepared her for the role of Suki. In the music video, Kate Moss and Aoki had a rebellious and effortlessly cool attitude, think lesbian couple in a getaway car after a successful heist sort of vibe. Now fast forward to the end of the 2000s, and Devin Aoki dips from the social scene to concentrate on her personal life. In 2010, she got engaged to James Bailey and got married later in 2011 in a private ceremony. Before long, the couple welcomed their first child, Alessandra, who has been featured in Guess Kids campaigns. How adorable. Devin now has 4 kids. When we talk of Devin Aoki in the fashion industry, one thing is clear. She came, she saw, and she conquered. She's a trendsetter and a role model, and her impact on the fashion industry is undeniable. Hope you enjoyed this video and catch you on the next one.